What if the story of humanity wasn't just written in stone, in the grand monuments and weathered artifacts that dot our planet? What if the most profound chapters of our past were, in fact, etched into our very DNA, the invisible blueprint that shapes who we are? Deep within our cells, in the intricate dance of molecules, lies a map, a living atlas that traces forgotten migrations, the epic journeys of our ancestors across continents and millennia. It speaks of lost relatives, branches of the human family tree that have faded from memory, yet persist in our genes. For most of us, this map is a tangled tapestry, a complex weave of inherited traits and ancestral echoes, difficult to decipher. But in the remote mountains of the Philippines, shrouded in mist and ancient forests, the Mangyan people, guardians of tradition, hold a thread so ancient, a connection to our distant past so profound, it could rewrite our understanding of human history, challenging the narratives we've long accepted as truth. Their DNA, a time capsule of genetic information, challenges what we think we know about who we are and where we come from. The Mangyan, living in relative seclusion, isolated from the currents of modern history, have preserved a genetic legacy, a unique and precious inheritance passed down through countless generations. This legacy has puzzled scientists for decades, sparking debates and challenging established theories about human origins and migration patterns. Their blood holds a secret, a story waiting to be told, a missing piece of the human puzzle, a vital clue to unlocking the mysteries of our collective past. To understand their importance, to truly grasp the significance of their genetic heritage, is to embark on a journey deep into our shared ancestry, back to the dawn of humanity, to the very roots of our existence. This journey begins with a single question, a fundamental inquiry that has haunted humankind for centuries. Who are we, really? What does it mean to be human, and where do we truly come from? The answer, as we are about to discover, is far more intricate, far more surprising, and far more profound than we ever imagined. Deep in Mindoro's jungles live the Mangyan, 8 distinct peoples, each with their own language and traditions. For centuries, they've thrived in harmony with the land, their culture woven into the forest, their stories inscribed on bamboo in the ancient Surat Mangyan script. Their isolation preserved their identity, shielding them from waves of trade and colonization that swept the lowlands. But this seclusion also shrouded their origins in mystery. Who were they? Where did they come from? Oral tradition spoke of a time immemorial, but the puzzle remained incomplete. Physically and linguistically distinct, the Mangyan maintained small, community-based societies, a living link to a pre-Hispanic Philippines. The real answers, it turned out, were hidden not in their stories or artifacts but in their DNA. Before the advent of advanced genetic sequencing, a time when the tools of genetic analysis were far less sophisticated than they are today, the Mangyan people of Mindoro Island presented a compelling scientific mystery, shrouded in the mists of time and geographic isolation. Early studies, conducted with the limited resources available at the time, hinted strongly at their genetic uniqueness, suggesting a distinct origin and evolutionary path. But the technology of the era was simply too crude, too imprecise to fully reveal the intricate details of their genetic makeup and unlock the secrets held within their DNA. Their DNA, when compared to that of other populations in the region, notably lacked many of the common genetic markers found in neighboring groups, effectively making them a genetic island, isolated by both geography and their unique genetic heritage. This distinctiveness strongly suggested a long period of isolation, a separation from other populations that stretched back perhaps for millennia. But this discovery only raised more profound questions, deeper mysteries that begged to be answered. When did this isolation truly begin? What historical events led to their unique genetic divergence? And perhaps most intriguingly, who were their ancestors? From what ancient population did they descend? And what journeys did they undertake to reach their island home? Some researchers hypothesized that they were direct descendants of the very first Austronesians to arrive in the Philippines, pioneers who settled the islands thousands of years ago, while others suspected an even older lineage, a connection to a population that predated the Austronesian migrations altogether. For many years, the Mangyan genome remained a locked room, a puzzle box resisting all attempts to open it, its secrets tantalizingly out of reach, hidden behind the limitations of the available technology. Their DNA held the key to a silent witness to a history, a record of migrations, adaptations, and isolations, a history that oral traditions and archaeological findings could only hint at, providing fragmented glimpses of a much larger story. Scientists recognized that the Mangyan people represented a genetic treasure, a living archive of human history, a crucial baseline for understanding the complex and interwoven past of Southeast Asia, offering invaluable insights into the region's population dynamics. The key to unlocking their story, to deciphering the secrets held within their DNA, was simply waiting for technological advancements to catch up, for the tools to become available to finally read the full narrative encoded in their genes. The breakthrough came with high-resolution genetic analysis. Scientists could finally read the Mangyan genome in detail, working closely with the community. The findings were staggering. The Mangyan genetic profile was truly unique, with remarkable homogeneity, a classic signature of long-term isolation. Their DNA lacked the genetic influx common elsewhere in the Philippines, offering a clearer window into the deep past. It was like finding a perfectly preserved fossil, revealing ancient signals without the noise of recent admixture. Researchers focused on Y chromosomes, mitochondrial DNA, and autosomal DNA, each telling part of the story. The Mangyan carried ancient lineages with deep regional roots, but their exact connections were still being charted. The code was unlocked and a sealed chapter of human history was finally opened. The enigma was becoming a revelation. Why are the Mangyan genes so different? 3 forces shaped their DNA: isolation, adaptation, and ancient migrations. Millennia of seclusion in Mindoro's mountains preserved their gene pool, creating a living record of a separate journey. Genetic drift and the founder effect amplified rare traits, forging a distinct identity even among other Philippine groups. Adaptation played a role too. Natural selection favored traits for survival in their unique environment. Scientists are now searching for genes linked to immunity and diet, evidence of biological resilience. But the foundation was laid by ancient mariners who first settled Mindoro. To truly understand the Mangyan, we must look beyond the island, to the origins of their ancestors. Deeper analysis of Mangyan DNA revealed faint but clear connections to distant populations in Taiwan, Vietnam, and southern China. The most striking link was a rare haplogroup, O1AM119, a signature of the Austronesian expansion. Yet the Mangyan carried an older, less common variant. This suggested they descended from one of the earliest migration waves. The connection to Vietnam hinted at a complex, intertwined history, not just a simple migration from Taiwan. The Mangyan held a key piece of this ancient puzzle. Their story was no longer just about isolation, but about deep, ancient connections. Their DNA preserved a signal overwritten elsewhere, revealing a more interconnected ancient world. The echoes in their blood were telling a new story. To truly understand the intricate web of connections that link the diverse cultures and peoples of Southeast Asia, we need to delve into the past. We must consider the movements of people across vast distances and the role of the ocean as both a divider and a connector. Picture the world 4,000, 6,000 years ago, a time when monumental shifts were occurring in human history. Civilizations were rising, technologies were advancing, and populations were on the move. It was a period of exploration, innovation, and the forging of new pathways across the globe. This was the era of the Austronesian expansion, a remarkable period of maritime migration that would reshape the map of the Pacific and Indian Oceans. These skilled seafarers embarked on voyages of incredible distances driven by a spirit of adventure and a quest for new horizons. Master seafarers left Taiwan, the likely origin point of this incredible expansion, navigating vast oceans, using sophisticated knowledge of currents, winds, and celestial navigation to guide their way across the trackless seas. They were settling islands from Madagascar, off the coast of Africa, to Easter Island, a remote outpost in the eastern Pacific. Their reach was truly astounding. The Mangyan's ancestors were among the first brave pioneers to journey south into the Philippines, island hopping their way through the archipelago, following ancient maritime highways, routes that had been used for generations to connect communities and facilitate trade. Mindoro became their new home, a place where they could establish settlements and build a life. It was a strategic stop on this epic migration, a vital link in the chain of islands that stretched across the ocean. But the genetic link to Vietnam complicates the story, adding another layer of complexity to the narrative. This connection is hinting at a shared mainland ancestry, suggesting that the story of the Mangyan people is intertwined with the history of mainland Southeast Asia. It could even point to back migrations, movements of people returning to the mainland after generations of island life. The sea was not a barrier, an obstacle to overcome, but a highway connecting distant shores, a pathway for trade, cultural exchange, and the movement of people. The Mangyan genome preserves these ancient markers, acting as a living archive of the past. This allows us to test new theories about Southeast Asia's peopling, shedding light on the complex processes that shape the region's human landscape. Their story is crucial evidence, a vital piece of the puzzle, in the ongoing debate over how these islands were settled, and the role of seafaring in shaping the region's cultural and genetic diversity. The Mangyan are living proof, a testament to the ingenuity and resilience of humanity's ancient seafaring spirit, a spirit that continues to connect us across the oceans and through time. The Mangyan DNA discoveries are more than a regional curiosity. They're a new chapter in the story of human migration. For decades, our models relied on language and archaeology, but the Mangyan genome provides a high-resolution map of ancient movement. Their DNA acts as a genetic baseline, revealing what the ancestral Austronesian genome looked like. Scientists can now untangle migration layers across the Pacific, using the Mangyan as a reference point. Their story shows there was never just one path. While others moved and mixed, the Mangyan entered a long isolation, creating a unique legacy. Small, isolated groups like the Mangyan are vital to understanding the big picture of human evolution. Their genetic legacy connects us all to the great saga of exploration and survival. The Mangyan are more than a scientific subject. They are a living library of human heritage. Their culture, language, and DNA are irreplaceable archives of our shared past. But this legacy is under threat. Deforestation, assimilation pressures, and loss of language endanger their way of life. Preserving the Mangyan means protecting a crucial piece of our collective story. Legal protection for their lands, culturally sensitive education, and ethical scientific partnership are essential. The Mangyan must be collaborators, not just subjects in research about their history. Supporting their communities and raising awareness is our shared responsibility. The Mangyan have kept an ancient flame alive for thousands of years. Now, it's our turn to help shield it, ensuring this living library remains open for generations to come.